They were able to develop enough evidence to charge 47-year-old Myrta Romanos, that's Myrta Ramanos. She is believed to be, I'm not sure exactly what the relationship is, but maybe a stepmother to Christopher, 19-year-old Christopher.
Hello everyone, my name is Jessica and welcome back to my channel. This is a new one. It's breaking news that there's been a third arrest in the Savanah Soto and Matthew Guerra case. Sorry for my breath, just a little thing just before, I don't want to get all these comments. Number one, I talk fast. I'm excited, so I'm going to talk even faster. If you don't like that, don't watch my channel. And I'm a stay-at-home mom to 2 young kids. And I have to go up and down the stairs, so I'm going to be a little bit more out of breath. If you don't like that, my channel's not for you. Realistically, I'm a mom. So I'm a mom first. I do commentary second. So I have a lot of information here to share with you guys. I'm seeing a lot of misinformation online. I was going to film this video tomorrow when my husband is home, and it could be like more calm and relaxed and put together a little bit better. And I've done my background research already, which is why I can just sit down and record right now. But because of all this information coming out, I want to be the first one to come out with it before other people do their research and put it out there, especially because all these channels do lives. I don't have the ability to do a live. Obviously, I just said I'm a stay-at-home mom, and you probably can hear my baby downstairs in the background screaming. So anyways, let's hop into today's video. I have some crazy stuff to share with you guys. Okay, so now before I present this information that I found to you, I want to first give a couple disclaimers. Number one, I am someone who thinks differently than mainstream. At least I like to believe I do. If you've watched my videos before, you know that I question things, I dig a little deeper, and when I'm being told one thing, I want to look into it fully before forming my opinion. So I encourage you to do the same. Don't just take what I'm saying at face value. Look into it yourself if you want to. Another thing is that this case is always moving. It's because it's live, it's happening now. Things can change. So I could be wrong, and I'm totally okay with that. Also, know that anyone who commits a crime is innocent until proven guilty. I'm not saying these people aren't guilty. It's my personal opinion that they are, but the law will prove that when they go to trial, because they're probably going to plead not guilty, especially because Christopher Preciado has used the self-defense thing. So he'll probably plead not guilty is my assumption on this. I just want to put that out there. And I don't mean hate to anyone involved, okay? Including people I'm going to talk about who've been talked about in a very positive light. I think a little bit differently. I don't think that these people are bad people in any way, but I've been questioning it, and then now this kind of aligns with what I'm thinking. Let's get into this. The first thing, the elephant in the room I want to address, I just posted the raw video because I took a live recording of Christopher's mom getting arrested, is that even in the video, the police, whoever that police officer was, the female, she said that Myrta, I believe that's how you say her name, she is a stepmom. That is incorrect. Because I've looked into this, like I already said in my intro, I know that she's not the stepmom. She is in fact the mother of Christopher. Now, I was looking up obituaries. Myrta lost her mother and her father. She lost her mother first, and then I feel like 6-ish years later, I'm recording this just like on the fly here, so I'm not as scripted as I normally am. Her dad passed away, and in the obituaries, it lets you know like whatever they're going to share, which is sibling names and all that sort of thing. So I know that Ramon and Myrta have at least 2 kids together. They might have more, but I believe they have 2 kids together. This case is very interesting to me. So, and these people involved in it, which is obviously why I'm sharing with you guys. Myrta and Ramon got married March 15th, 2009. As you can see here, this is their marriage certificate I found online. They are married. Myrta, her married last name is Preciado, but she also goes by Myrta Preciado Ramonos or Romanos. You'll see it on the screen. She goes by both names, and in the obituaries of her parents, she has 2 different names that are listed. But my assumption and my observation of finding the facts about their family is that they are still married. Now, the thing that's kind of controversial is we all know Carlos. If you're following this case at all, Carlos is a guy on TikTok. He has cancer, so my best wishes to him on his recovery, and I hope he does okay. So I'm not meaning this any ill against him, okay? But he is the only neighbor that's speaking out in regards to this case. He's the one who's been sharing all these TikToks and whatnot. He is the one, allegedly, that has said that Ramon has a girlfriend. And everyone's been saying this. And I found this really awesome channel, allegedly with Amber. I can't remember her name. I'll put it on the screen. I came across it 2 nights ago. It was suggested to me. And I went on her live yesterday, like as in like talking in the chat, and I really like them. They're really open-minded people, and they think more along the lines of I do. And I've never find like live chats like very good, honestly. So everyone praises Carlos, which is really great that he's sharing. But sorry, I'm kind of all over. Like I said, I'm not scripted right now. Mentioning Carlos. So he's the one been sharing about this. He said that there's a girlfriend, right? Whatever. And then I saw Duty Ron's video. He actually interviewed Carlos and asked Carlos, he's like, I don't want to pry, but because Duty Ron used to be an investigator, he said, at least hopefully I get that correct. I know he's former NYPD as well. But he said, I don't want to pry, but how long have you been living in the neighborhood? And Carlos says 7 or 8 months.
Let me ask you, and I don't like to be personal, but I have to kind of ask this.
Yeah.
How long have they been living there, and how long have you been living there, approximately?
Approximately, I've been here like 7 or 8 months.
Okay.
And when I got here, they were already there.
Okay.
So for me personally, that completely omits his perception of of Ramon having a girlfriend and Myrta not being his wife. He doesn't know them. Okay. Myrta has been living in that house. That is her house for a very long time. Now, again, I'm not going to be able to give you exact dates. I can put the documentation on the screen, but he doesn't know them. So I discredit his assumption on them, other than the general observations he's making about like the police moving vehicles. That I trust because you can see it with your own eyes, right? But also there's something else I questioned with Carlos is that he has a bird's eye view of their house, and that truck that everyone's been looking for was sitting in that driveway, you know? How did he not see that? Now, again, I'm not meaning ill towards Carlos, but it's odd to me. I'm not saying anything, like I'm not assuming anything negative about him, but I would not take his observation skills on the history of the Preciados because he didn't notice the vehicle that everyone was looking for sitting in the driveway. So that's just my little thing, my little spiel on that. And I'll just keep going. Okay, so now you may be like,
Jessica, why do you even think that Myrta is Christopher's mom? Like, just because they got married in this year, and it was obviously years after Christopher was even born?
Now, this crazy bombshell stuff that I found, and I feel like this really solidifies it. And the reason why I actually thought Myrta was involved, but I did not want to make a video because I didn't want to dox somebody. But now that she's been arrested, I very much can talk about her. So I'm very happy that I was looking into her. So this is where it's like really fucked up. Okay. This is so weird. And this is why I thought she is actually the mastermind. I don't know how she knows them other than like being involved in DRUGSs, right? Sorry, I'm like shaky and crazy right now because I can't believe that this even was online. And I said to that I found this, and this is my assumption as well. Like, this is all alleged. It's just my opinion. Doesn't make it fact, but I'm going to show you documents and blur out what I can. But I said to my husband, this is why I think she's involved. And he was completely unsure. So now I have to gather my thoughts. Okay. Myrta has, I think 5 siblings. Okay. She had 2 pass away in the same time frame that her dad and her mom passed away. So her mom passed away first in 2010. Her dad passed away in 2019. And I was watching JRL Investigates, and he was sharing that he requested the call logs from the Charlie Chan house. And then he had said that there was a DOA call, so dead on arrival, in 2011, 2012.
Shot this if you want. You could screenshot this if you want. Take it away. Take the elderly. I don't know. Injured or sick person. Has anyone in that family died in 2012 that people know about? Please provide the insight in the comments.
And then I commented on it saying the last sale of the house was in May of 2013, so this can't be them. When Myrta's dad passed away, his name is Felipe, when he passed away, he left his house to Christopher. He said if Christopher is under the age of 21 when he passes, then it goes to Myrta until Christopher is 21. Now we all know Christopher is 19. So anyways, that DOA call would have been when Myrta was living there because her dad bought the house. I believe, let me check my notes right here. So, okay. I didn't write it in my notes, which really sucks. So I wasn't done doing my notes and then all this stuff broke. I'll have to put on the screen somewhere when Felipe bought the Charlie Chan house. He's had it for quite some time before his passing. Like, it was paid off, which is why he was able to grant it, leave it to somebody when he passes. It was in his will. So what is so weird about all this is that DOA call was one of, in my assumption, okay, I don't know if this is true. I've been trying to find it. I cannot find it. One of her siblings, Rodolfo, I think is his name is. I think he was the DOA call. Now, I hope the police are looking into this. And I maybe Gerald will request that specific call. Maybe I should email him and ask him if he can request that specific call, even though it takes months to know. I'm curious because there's no obituary for this guy online, which is so freaking weird. I know I sound like so weird. And if this was alive, we could interact and chat with each other. But this is it's just blowing my mind. And I'm just like, it's just the first time I'm like articulating in full, like well-rounded sentences. At least I hope it's well-rounded sentences. So in this will, so like I said, Myrta's mom is actually named Myrta as well. Myrta's also a junior, like Ramon Preciado is a junior. So weird. So sorry if that bothers you. My lips are so dry. It's Canada and it's cold. Myrta's mom passed away in 2010. This is very weird. Okay, get ready. I'm not laughing about the death, but Felipe, Myrta's dad, redid his will in 2011, 1 year after his wife passed. Weird, right? And to some people that may not be weird, but what is freaking weird is in the will, he specifically leaves the Charlie Chan house to Christopher Preciado, okay? His grandson. He says, my grandson. You wouldn't do that if that wasn't your child, right? So that's why I believe that Myrta is the mother of Christopher, just from knowing all this, okay? And the obituaries for both people say sons, and then he is listed as one of the sons. And then he says he leaves all the rest, including the Gramercy place. So everyone's saying that Myrta moved out and she lives in that Gramercy place. This is all public information online, just so you know. You can Google and just find it in 2 seconds. Saying that she lives in this house and that's proof that she moved out and that Ramon has a girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. No. She owns the freaking house because her father in his will left it to her, and he left her the house and the rest of everything. Okay. He left Christopher. Let's rehash that, or let's recap that. He left Christopher the Charlie Chan house. He left Myrta. He also has one more living son, Felipe does, and one more living daughter. He left Myrta the Gramercy house because that was also paid off. I have it in my notes here that the Gramercy house was paid off in July of 2007. And so he left that house to her, and everything else to the rest of his children, he left his undying love. What? That was like, okay, first of all, elder abuse is what I think that is. And it said he was of sound mind, blah, 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 when signing the documentation. I don't freaking buy it, because if I can find a picture of him, of what he looked like before he passed, he looks like a frail old man, okay? You can take advantage of we know elder abuse exists, okay? They can be taken advantage of it in their old age. Who knows if he was on pain meds, what he was going through when he passed. I don't know the thing of his passing. He was a veteran, by the way. And he had a VA loan with the houses, and he paid them off. He was very successful. I don't know what he did outside of being in the army or whatever it was, serving for his country, which is so sad that he was taken advantage of in his old age. And like the timing of it, that the will was rewritten a year later. And I say rewritten, I can't find the original will. I can only assume that it is rewritten based on it happening so close to his death, like 8 years before his death, and then he rewrote it. In my assumption, rewrote it after his wife passed. It's just the timing is very fishy to me, okay? Why would he only leave something to his one daughter and his one grandson? He has 4 other grandchildren, and I think like 8 great-grandchildren or 3 great-grandchildren, something like some number like that. That does not make sense. You don't do that, not unless like he's an evil old man, but from what it sounds like, he was very well loved. So I don't understand that. This is why I believed, even before this came out, like I already said, I believed that Myrta was the mastermind. What kind of fucked up individual does this, allegedly, it's all my assumption just based on what I found, gets her father to rewrite his will? She's totally, like, obviously, it's been said that the GUN, the police said that today, that was hers, that was used.
It was her weapon, right?
Excuse me?
They matched her weapon to the ballistics.
Right. That tampering with evidence, from what we understand, she stated that was her gun. So we do know that that was her weapon.
Okay, I'm very interested to watch this case unfold. I am like deeply, deeply invested now from what I found. Very deeply invested. I've looked up as much as I can. And then there's this TikTok. Okay, I'm going to get into that in just a second. But about this TikTok, I don't know why I mentioned that, but it's already leave that cliffhanger. I'll show you the TikTok in a second. But what do you guys think? Isn't that crazy? I think it's so mental. I think this is insane. This is so insane. This is so insane to me. Maybe it's nothing to some people, but to me, this is insane. Okay. So let's carry on with this video. Sorry, I'm out of breath from running downstairs and checking my children, getting them all the snacks and stuff that they need. So now I want to re-bring in that blink camera. If you watch my other video I did, my more edited video on Annalisa, she was involved. She inserted herself into this story. And in that video, that was from the blink camera, was her boyfriend and some other people talking about being snitches. Okay, so I'm going to run that right now.
Nigga, I'm doing this right now over that shit. Like,
Okay, don't mind my look. So I'm editing, and I just thought about how that video was from like 3 a.m. on the 22nd of December. And everyone was discrediting it because they said it happened before the murders, which were supposedly took place on the 23rd-ish, right? But now we've learned from the affidavit that, David, however you say it, that they actually occurred on the 21st. So now the timeline of that blink camera would show that that's probably real. So I wonder if, sorry, it's like my brain going off into another tangent. I wonder if Ramon and Myrta are some like head of some ring, you know? This is so interesting. What do you guys think? Okay, now there's another TikTok. It didn't really circulate that much, but I saw it on the live last night. Again, I'm going to link the channel below that I saw the live on, and I really like that channel so far. I've only watched it 2 times, so I don't know them fully, but I really enjoy their conversations that they have. They're really open and don't judge and whatever. So there's this girl, I don't know where they're recording him from, I don't know who the girl is, but she says, okay, I'll just roll it so that you can hear it from her words.
Trying to call the detective, but no one's has called me back yet. I've been trying like all morning, but his friends, I guess he got arrested with 2 other people, and the 2 other people that he got arrested with, he got out the next day. And so basically they're saying that Matthew snitched and that they wanted to, you know, get at him for snitching. And then all this happened. So I was like, that's really weird. And then the guy that it's like, I don't know his name, but he got locked up with, has relation to the guy that has that's like the bigger guy that has the black truck.
Okay.
So I don't know. I just think it's weird. And I was like wanting to tell someone, like, I don't know.
Okay, so I've been looking into who these people are. Who could it be related to Ramon? I looked at everybody who's ever lived at that house. I looked up their full records, and there's not much. There's only like possession of marijuana and like speeding and DA from like years ago. It's not current enough. It's not the same timeline that Matthew was arrested. And I looked into his record. It does kind of corroborate slightly, and it could be the whole snitch thing. I think it very much could be. And I know the police just said in their thing today that there's no more arrests, blah, blah, blah. They said the same thing after Christopher and Ramon were arrested. I know they weren't trying to give away anything, but I don't buy that there's no one else involved. I don't buy it. Not unless we learn that Myrta is like this mastermind of this massive drug ring or something. Like she very well could be, especially you heard what I said in my previous thing about the will and everything. So this is kind of where I'm sitting at now. This is like, I know I use the word interesting a lot, but like this is, you know what, actually the chief used a really good word with this case. I know he was talking about the specific like unalivings of them, but it's very perplexing. It like really gets your brain to think. And I'm very, I don't know, this is just very interesting. I'm going to continue to follow this. I'm going to continue to dig as much as possible. Obviously with this information coming out, there's going to be a lot deleted. I know this has nothing to do with the arrest, but I want to talk about Savannah's family. Now, they were the ones coming online talking about everything, you know, like find her, she's missing, blah, 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 blah. And then they were mad that people were talking about internet detectives. Okay, internet detectives are good, actually, because of everyone like me and all these other people. I'm not shooting my own horn because I barely have an audience, but talking about it nonstop gain the international attention and put the pressure on the DA. Okay, I'm talking about the DA now for a second. It put the pressure on the DA. I'll go back to the whole Savannahs family in a second. It put pressure on the DA. I looked into the DA. He is not well liked. He's not well liked at all. They called in the Secret Service to solve this because why? In my personal assumption, in my opinion, allegedly, whatever, is that because it's gained international attention, they need to like nip it in the butt. Not that they didn't want to solve it, but it's not abnormal for crimes like this to happen, although it is when it involves a heavily pregnant woman who is past her due date and who missed her induction, you know? I think the DA was trying to save face. How weird. Do you guys think it's weird that he's part of the press conferences? It's not normal in big cases like this to see a DA standing there with the chief of police.
I've asked District Attorney Joe Gonzalez to be here today and make a few comments at the end of this briefing.
Normally the chief of police is there only. And he's like, thank you for inviting me, blah, blah, blah. And again, he seems nice, but when I looked him up, he's not well liked. Not that the previous DA was well liked either, but This DA has more dismissals of cases despite cases going up. So this is like not good. He dismisses murder charges all the time.
Confusion in a child death case playing out in court. 5-year-old Dominic Aguilar Acevedo was allegedly killed here in San Antonio, but his body found in Colorado. His mother, Nicole Aguilar, and her boyfriend, Daniel Garcia, are charged in the case.
The defense attorney for Garcia told the court that the Bexar County District Attorney himself said the murder charge was a mistake.
We also reached out by email to the district attorney's office requesting an interview with Gonzalez about what he allegedly said, and we're told, quote, the case is still pending. Our office does not comment on pending cases. For now, Garcia's case has no trial date as evidence issues still need to be cleared up, as well as getting an answer if there was ever a meeting between Oliva and Gonzalez. The case will be called back on October 30th.
This is very common. Now I can say allegedly, but if you look up the stats for Bexar County, he does not have a good rep. So this has been my assumption too, is that he's all in this because of he's trying to save face. You know, he's not well liked, blah, blah, whatever. I'm like, of course, there's going to be people who like him, but just like generally speaking, he's not well liked. And if you look up news stories, maybe I'll link some here, news stories talking about the DA. Before this case, he was not like praised in any way whatsoever. He would barely take interviews. He never took live interviews. He never did lives ever. Okay. Never. He did. And I shouldn't say never, sorry, but he did one. He just I should say the word rarely. He rarely did lives, rarely like live interviews with the news and stuff. Probably because he can't prepare and, come up with his scripted statements and whatever.
Yeah, this is our last attempt to contact you. Can we talk for 90 seconds about the personnel issues in your office?
No, afterwards I said I'll give you
and
some
I've got to pick my daughter up from soccer. I've got a
sorry to
family
hear
just
that.
like you. We were told that you would be available before the event, so that's why we're here. We've emailed your office for weeks.
I'm sorry that you were told that, Chief. How are you?
So
but I've got to respect what we're doing here tonight. And
so no comment on the complaints against you and your administration by former employees?
I don't know what you're talking about, complaints.
So yeah, I think this is another crux or whatever the word is with this case. Okay, so the thing that I quickly want to mention with Savannah's family is, like I was saying, how they don't want people playing internet detectives and whatever. I think it's because they don't want people looking into their family. I saw on Ickmill's channel that, because I'm doing my research, I'm watching everybody because I want to know what people's perspectives are, and I don't want to re-talk about things that have already been talked about. But I saw on his channel that someone called in and they were an ex of someone who dated Gloria, Savannah's mom, and said that she dealt DRUGSs.
My ex-husband used to date Savannah's mom a while back. He told me things about them, and he never did drugs or anything. He would just drink. But he got with Gloria, and she was older than me. And he was with her because she would sell drugs. And so he would get free drugs from her.
I don't know what the validity of that is. I don't know how true it is. But they don't want people looking into them. Like Gloria has, and teach their own, but she has 5 baby daddies. So that is what it is. She probably doesn't want people to know that, but that's just whatever. And I respect the victims, but their families, I honestly don't have, maybe I have some respect because they're humans who matter, but I know that Matthew had his things and whatever, but they also said that Savannah's phone was the one that pinged at Charlie Chan. It's all Savannah, and they also mentioned the police about Savannah dealing, right? So I think maybe she was more involved than what people want to believe. And it's hard to believe because she was so pregnant and she should have been doing better. But I think they're blaming Matthew because Matthew's family also really talks about Savannah and Fabian, and Savannah's family doesn't talk about Matthew, and they're also not getting buried together.
This burial will be at San Jose Burial Park. Savannah and the young couple's unborn son Fabian will be buried together at a separate location.
People are like, oh yeah, well they let Fabian be in Matthew's casket for his vigil or for his funeral or whatever, but it's okay, I think they should be buried. They died together, they should be buried together, in my personal opinion. That's, I don't know, it's just, I'm sure many people disagree with me on that, but that's just my opinion, so.
We were supposed to celebrate Christmas with her and the baby. All she wanted was that baby. I think she was meant to be a mom.
Soto's sister-in-law, Joanny Wasil, says when Soto missed her appointment to be induced Saturday, they knew something was wrong. Authorities issued a missing persons alert Monday. Wasil explains a tip through Facebook led them to this great Kia.
Horrible. So confusing, so difficult. All she wanted was that baby. She didn't think about anything else. She was so ready to be a mom.
And just adding to the heartbreak tonight, that family member who you heard from right before we just came back on air, she tells us tonight that she was actually tipped off to where the car was, called officials, but got here before them. So she went to the car, opened the door, saw a gruesome scene, and she even said that she couldn't believe the fact that Savannah could be dead. She thought maybe she had just passed out. She says that tonight they are just reeling with all of the information that is coming in.
I did see blood in the car when they opened it.
But got here before them. So she went to the car, opened the door.
In the car when they opened it.
It is what it is. That is my jumbled thoughts on this case so far. People wanted me to do an update. A couple of people. It's not like I'm a popular YouTuber or anything, but I've really enjoyed digging into this. And if you watch any of my Jody Hildebrandt videos, I love digging. I love it. I love it. I love it. But I can't confirm everything that I say. The things that I have proof of on the screen, I can show you. And I really hope I get this video up today. I'm going to bust my butt to try to edit this today. Really try. So if not, it'll be up tomorrow. So the day after the arrest. But I hope you guys enjoyed my take on things. If you want me to further talk about this, I will. I already planned to, but I can't do lives. But I have contemplated on posting a video and premiering it. If I premiere it, I can do a live chat. And yes, if someone hops on, they're only going to hop on where it's currently in the premiere. So 5 minutes, like if they miss it, then they're not going to get the beginning of the video, but it will help us chat together. So we can chat a live chat while it's premiering. So if you guys are open to that, let me know. I will do it on a day where my husband's home, and then I can respond to you guys immediately and be in the chat. So I really want to do that, even if it's just like a summary with the news stories or something, just so we can all chat live, you know, because since I can't do like, you know, live, but if a premiere, I can do that. So let me know if you guys are interested in that. I'm very looking forward to possibly doing that and getting to chat with you guys more rather than just in the comments. I really appreciate the comments, but I also really, I want to, you know, get to know you guys too. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Please let me know. I'm sure whether you like it or not, you'll let me know, which I do appreciate. You know, all perspectives matter. I think that's what makes the world exciting and different. I don't think we all need to think the same. And just like I said before, in regards to commentary channels, I like that there's a whole slew of different people, because it really opens your mind to think differently, but also like gives the different perspectives, and then gives a whole big picture on everything, you know, really completes the picture, you know. So I outro like 7 times in a video, I'm sorry. So anyways, I hope you guys are having a great day. Bye guys.